Hello and welcome to Always with Awareness. I'm Awa Lotmel.
And I'm Douglas Lodmell. Today we want to talk about our kids and letting them go into their life, letting them fly when they're ready to fly. That's where we're at with our kids.
Yes.
They are
Scary.
17, 19, 25. And so they're all in that flying stage.
Yeah.
And it's hard
Very.
because there's a transition that has to occur. And I remember it with my own father in particular, not so much my mother, because I think I was already out of the house even, when it happened. But with my father, I remember there was a period where I had to just say, I don't want to do what you want me to do this summer. I want to do what I want to do this summer. It was over like that, my summer plans between school years at college. And we have a friend or niece that's going through that now, right?
Who?
With the summer job that.
Oh yes. Yeah. There you are.
And it's normal, right? We all as parents.
Yeah.
We're so used to being in that role of teacher and mentor and guide, and that when they start to have their own plans with their life, we're like, whoa, wait a second.
Wait a minute.
You still need us. You still need all our guidance.
I know.
So I know this has been something that is big for us, as with I think every parent, but
Definitely for mothers.
yeah. So for mothers, I think it's maybe even harder.
I think so. I'm not a father. I'm a mother. I can only talk for the mother.
Yeah.
Why do I say it's harder for me? Because between the two of us, I think it's harder for me.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Just mothers are made differently, just like we discovered that when we go to sleep, 70% of our brain is still awake as mothers. Why? So we can listen, hear the baby. For fathers, only 10% is
Right.
awake.
We're pretty much dead to the world.
They are dead to the world, they're sleeping.
Yeah.
That's the difference, of who is so tuned with the kids,
Yeah,
and nature did it that way for a reason,
sure.
right? They needed us. We made them inside here. So they come out, you breastfeeding, the first 7 years of your life as a mother just shifts, right? You feel very responsible for these little babies.
Yeah,
And then comes a time that they have to go. And in our mind, we're fantasizing that time when it comes is going to be smooth. But we're not going to do anything for it to be smooth.
right.
And it's hard, right? Because it can only be smooth if we're here. But we're there. We're here. And I had my own shift, because the shifts is this a gift keep on giving? You do
Children, the gift that keeps giving. They never quit giving.
Exactly. It's like shift after shift after shift after shift. It never ends.
Yeah.
Even in the perfect world, when they grew up and then they married, and when they have kids, then there's another. So it never ends. But I'm sure this was not my first shift, because our daughter Iman is 25. We did that one. Then we have our other one, Renee, is happening. Then you have our son, is happening. But something happened with me this week, and I wanted to share that. And the shift was, why are we having kids? Why are we having kids? I have to ask myself. Because if we're thinking is to educate them, it can be. Education never stops. If anything, we're praying that we die before them. So there will be a part where we're not in their lives. So it can not only be for that,
Right.
right? If it's to give them life, we know we are not the life givers. We carry them here, but we're not the one giving them lives. But then you ask, if it's not for them, then what is it for me?
Yeah.
And that was the big breakthrough. The breakthrough was that they have a part in our lives. It starts with us, but it should end with them.
So explain that. What do you mean by that?
We are the parent,
Mm-hmm.
parenting, but at the end, they have something to teach us too.
Oh, for sure.
A lot.
I mean, my personal feeling is that kids are there to teach you.
Absolutely.
The kids are there to give you these unbelievable pressures that only a child could do to you,
For sure.
right? Only your own child that you love so unconditionally that only they could trigger you in that way to make you grow. That's the role, right? They're doing their job.
That's right.
And our job is not to make them wrong for doing their job.
Mm-mm.
Our job is to learn and to grow ourselves.
But that doesn't happen. Because for the longest time, even when they pressure you, the fact that they're kids, soften it. You just go like, oh,
Yeah.
he's a kid.
Or you can push them back and you
Or
can
you can push them
overpower
back
them
and overpower them
because they're little kids.
Because they're little kids.
But when they're teenagers, and particularly when they're at that stage where they're leaving the nest, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, that when they're going and the ideas of what you wanted or what you think is best for them no longer are controlling. They're still influencing, usually, but they're definitely not controlling anymore.
Yes.
They're going to be making their own decisions. And one day they're going to say to you, no, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
And you're going to be like, oh, shit.
Yeah. Or sometimes it's not even about the no or yes. It's just they're doing, period.
Or they're doing it and they never even, they're just doing it.
They're just being who they are being.
Yeah.
But the one thing that hit me is the spiritual component of raising a kid and to have to let a kid go. Not the physical part, not the identification part, not the teaching part, but the spiritual part. The meaning, how trusted you were to bring a child here. And when do you know your role as a parent, parenting, is not over. It's just you can trust now. When you apply faith and trust the way you apply it in everywhere else in your life, when do you apply that now with your kids?
Yeah.
And that was, oh my God, you meant to tell me I cannot be just spiritual here.
Over here, but with my
Over
kids,
here.
I can still be.
Yeah, spiritual here. And go to church if you go into church, or pray 5 times a day and do all of that in here and be enlightened here. And then when I turn here with my kids, I forget all about trust and all about faith and all about anything else. And now I am a parent.
Yeah.
And that is that is the gift of today.
Wow.
When you see that your kids also are here for your spiritual connection and enlightenment.
Yeah. And I think it's really, for a mother, so much different.
Oh,
Because
yes.
I think for a father, we just don't have the same fear related to them growing up and getting out into the world. I just don't think it's built. It's the same way we can sleep and they
That's
could
why
be
you
crying
sleep
and
all
we
the-
sleep right through it, but you guys can't.
No, we
right?
can't.
So it's the same thing. So that catharsis of letting your kids go and trusting, that's really the ultimate spiritual growth for you is now I have to trust so much that this thing that my core, like my nature, my instinct is built to protect these children. And now I have to actually override it and consciously let them go into the unknown
Wilderness,
wild.
yeah.
Especially when I see as they're launching, they're making right there the first step I don't agree with. Right out the gate, they're already doing the wrong thing. I wanted to correct them.
I know. And yet you know, deep within yourself, that that's what's best for them and that's what you want for them.
Yeah.
And yet, so if you are a mother, I know you understand that. If you are the kid, please be gentle
With your mother.
with your parents. But all I would love to share here is for the mothers to see the spiritual growth that is waiting for you, that is going to ease your heart so that you can flourish with your kids, because they're waiting. They're waiting for us. They're waiting for this spiritual growth that happens within us for them to finally be full-flesh human being and feeling complete and want to come back and share with you. And that can't happen unless this real spiritual growth happen within us as mothers. I would want to say parents, but I think most of the time it's with the mother.
Yeah.
There's a lot of mother problems. Why? Because the mothers are not understanding, and they're not understanding because they don't see this being a spiritual growth. They see it as being just physical.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because why? Because parenting is very physical. Being pregnant is physical. The body changes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most of all the first years is physical. You're the Uber mom. You're coming. You're going. You know, and then come where all of that stop, and you're holding on with dear life. And what we need is that spiritual growth, so that we now trust them again, so that they can come back and be the friend that they're meant to be.
Well, it's what are we going to teach them? What is that? You know, Khalil Gibran has a section in The Prophet about children. And he says, and you, parents, don't see your children as your own.
Yes.
You are the bow that your child is the arrow. And your job is to hold the bow steady and let go. Well, when we're launching a kid, it's like when you're finally letting go, it's that last bit. And that last bit, if you hold it steady, it's that is going to most influence the direction of that arrow. And if that last bit of that arrow out of the bow is fear and guilt and trauma
Shame.
over it and shaking, the arrow is going to have a harder time finding its true course. But if that last bit is faith, saying, it's okay, I know you're going to be okay. I know you're going to make your mistakes, and that's totally okay. You're free to make those mistakes because you can correct them and you can learn from them. And I trust you, and I trust mostly God, because you have God as much as I have God. I don't need to control everything as that arrow flies. And if you try to control that arrow as it's leaving, you're going to mess that arrow up. So let go with confidence that you got it right. That arrow's going to fly straight.
That's right. Well, that remind me of my own mother. You know, that's who she was. She, I remember when I get stuck in Paris, she called me and she asked, she's like, what do you want to do? I say, I want to stay. And she said something that I will always remember. She said, I don't have any doubt that you will make it, because I didn't bring here on earth no one who will fail. You got this. And that's all I needed to hear. And that was it. You know, and she did it so well. She's like, I don't worry about you. I don't worry about you ending up bad girl, doing drugs or anything, because I know I didn't bring that in here. Mm-hmm. That was just like, whoa. Like you said, what a way to let
that arrow fly. Wow. I feel like I have to go straight now.
So now I have to go straight, you know? And this podcast right here is to bring that back, to bring mothers that are stable, spiritually grounded. Like I said, it's going to be hard because everything about having kids is very physical. For the first...
For the mother, mostly.
For the mother, really.
We don't have to be pregnant.
No.
Or nurse our babies. I mean,
yes.
like our physicality with respect to a child is a fraction of yours.
Yes.
I mean, it's not even comparable. We don't... So I never really thought about it in that way, that being a parent is physical. I would never describe being a parent as physical.
Oh, it is so physical for a mother.
Wow. Okay.
It changed our body. We said yes to it. The body changes. Your thought process changes. Your diet changes. The first 7 years, you cry, you moody. Doesn't matter. You have to physically be awakened to have somebody suck your titties because they need to be nourished. I mean, everything is physical.
Wow.
Yeah. Watch my husband just realizing it right now. Yes, it's so physical. So it's like going to the gym for 20 years, and then they said, no more gym. And what do? You're already seeing yourself fat, not moving, and you're like, what? I want to keep going to the gym. This was my life. This kept me sane. It's the same.
Well,
it's very physical.
Wow.
So when you have a child and she's going, it's like, what am I going to do with my days? I'm the Uber mom. I'm cooking. I'm cleaning. Honey, I swear to God, most women are telling you what? But we have the kids. I can't even leave the husband. Like the husband becomes third wheel there.
Yeah.
I mean, inexistent. It's all about the kids for the mother.
And third world. You put them in the third world too.
They're an economy. They're not even in...
You're not even in America anymore. You're out of here.
You know, it's just like, you kidding me? Because it's so physical for us.
Wow.
You know? You sleep. Me and my son is 17. He goes to basketball. Unless he's back at home, my 70% of my brain is not asleep.
Can't sleep.
No.
I'm like, he's fine. Believe me, he's 17. He's fine. He'll be home.
Yeah. For you, he was fine at
fine.
day 2.
Oh my
At
God.
day 2, he was fine for you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Exactly. At day 2.
He could have survived as a baby. He would have been fine. 2-year-old, he's all right. Out of the nest.
You know, at 2 days you fall asleep and you're like, woof, that birth was hard, and you're sleeping.
Yeah.
You're not worrying about who's going to breastfeed this child, you know? So have some compassion here, there. It's very physical.
Wow.
You know,
so the leaving is also physical, is what I'm hearing you say. It's like a ripping away from you. Like they're not in your house. At least they're still there.
Yes.
But when they leave the house, it's
You feel like physically you can do something still.
in the house when they're in the
Yeah.
house. So when
Physically, if anything happened, you can be there.
Yeah.
Now they're gone into this wilderness where you can now you don't know where they are, when they're coming home. Did they get home on time? Did they sleep? What time did they wake up? Why are they even sleeping so late? Are they depressed?
oh
The whole thing is physical.
yeah.
That's why we need a spiritual breakthrough. It can't happen physically. Physically, there is nothing in this that makes sense. We should not be separated physically.
So for you children out there, please understand that this is hard
Yes.
for your mom. This is really hard.
Yes.
And all that she's doing to hold on to you, all that love, it's coming from that pain she's in of that physical separation. And you just please be patient and kind with her and understand that she'll get better.
Oh, absolutely.
It will heal. Time will heal.
Time will heal.
And it comes right at the time where they need to establish themselves, and the ripping right there is, it's so funny. I watched some animal program. My dad used to love animal programs. I would come in, I'm like, what are we watching? He's like, animals,
Wow.
And there was this particular kind of jaguar that the mother and the daughter were like so close. And then at one point, when it's time to leave, the mother will turn on the daughter and fight her.
Wow.
And if the daughter comes back, she won't let her. She forces, like instinctually, she knows I've got, and so
To cut it.
it cuts, but it's the mother that cuts. It was the mother that cuts. The daughter's like, hey, what happened? And it's like, nope, we're done. I finished my job.
Yeah.
But here, it's the daughter that's cutting.
Actually, the kids are not the one cutting.
Yeah.
I think it's still the mothers, if they're healthy enough to embrace that spirituality.
Yeah.
If the kids has to do it, it's because already there was a problem
Okay.
of a lingering, It's just, I think what happened is, like I said, we look for the spiritual growth everywhere else but there.
Yeah.
You can find a woman be very faithful in God, strong, no doubt, for everything. Like, I got this family. I praying, doing all right. And there, in the trusting that the kids away are still having that, it takes a lot.
Yeah.
And yet, that's the next step. And that's why this podcast about letting go, it doesn't happen always nicely. And sometimes it can happen with just both parties just realizing, oh, we never had a problem. My mom was so sweet. That still can be a problem. You have a lot of people, even though their parents were sweet and all of that, but sometimes even in the fight, there is growth. In the sharing.
Sometimes.
Not always, like my friend Dee would say, I don't know. It's not that she had a problem. It's that there was nothing there too. It was okay, like go, whatever. Some parents, it's just like, it's easier to not feel anything, to not have any fight ever. It's easier to just, everything is okay.
They're just cutting it off so they don't have to feel it.
Say that they don't have to feel
So
it.
the ones that are having the biggest challenge with it are also the ones that have the deepest connection.
The deepest connection. And that's why
Yeah.
I'm talking to those ones.
Yeah.
Those ones. It's like there is a spiritual connection waiting for the mother to let go because the connection is so deep.
Wow. Well, I hope that's helpful for the kids and the mothers.
Yes.
Because it's both. And I know that this stage of life can be really tough for both.
Mm-hmm.
It can be really, really tough. And tough on the marriage, by the way.
Yeah, some people also.
Well, because again, you're there's so much invested in the children, especially when the last one leaves. I have seen it over and over again in my practice. When that happens, the survival rate of the marriage goes way down because there's a big hole there.
Of course.
They didn't have it built to. They weren't prepared.
Yes.
They didn't build the relationship with each other, saying, "Hey, in our relationship, we have a joke. You better invest in me because those ones are leaving."
I always say it.
like let's invest in each other.
That's
because
right.
they're going.
Yeah.
Right now they seem like they're our whole world and we have nothing but them, but they're out of here. Now that they're really out of here, like they're pretty much out of here.
Yeah.
Like
We're kicking them
now
out.
we're like, okay, go on.
We're the bad ones. That's just like, are you here yet?
Are you got this? You got this yet? Yeah.
Oh my God.
But
anyway, I hope this was helpful because it was really a great breakthrough that for me, the spiritual component of letting go, moving from physical to spiritual, how that can help really ease the separation of this empty nesting and letting your kids go. Yeah. And mostly for the mothers, yes, because we are so invested in these kids, not that the dad are not, but ours is very physical. And you don't realize how physical it is until it's time to let go. So, if this is you, I'm glad you are listening to it, and follow, comment, but definitely do your work, do your spiritual work. Pray within yourself for God to give you the strength to trust in your kids and to finally put your burden down and know that you have done all you needed to do, that they have the tools, and now that they can go and make you proud, for sure. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that.
Thank you.
All right, well, please leave us a comment, and we'll see you next time.
See you. All righty.